Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, I've recently purchased the OM System Olympus OM1, which we have here. The OM System Olympus OM1. Now, OM System is the new name for the original Olympus camera brand. In fact, they purchased the camera brand from Olympus and rebranded it as OM System. But the first camera release that they did in 2022, which is this OM1, they decided to retain the Olympus brand or the Olympus name. Whereas my OM5, which is getting a shot just over there, that is actually branded as the OM System OM5. So if you're not confused, then I'm confused, and vice versa. Basically, they will be dropping the Olympus brand. All future cameras that they release will be under the OM System brand name and not Olympus. But they've retained the Olympus brand for this particular camera. So here we have the Olympus OM1. And I've had it now probably a week to 10 days. And I'm just going to go through what I think of it so far in the short time that I've had it. I'm not going to cover all of its features. You can get that on the internet anyway. There's many reviews of the OM1. You know, I love the form factor of this Olympus OM1. I love the grip. It's a really nice handling camera. I would say as far as ergonomics and usability, I probably find this as my favourite camera because I just love the grip. But as I say, we're not going to go through all its features. It has got the 3-inch articulating screen, 5.6 or 5.7 million dot viewfinder. It is really sharp actually. And what I do like is the display in the viewfinder. It's nice, big, and it's clear. Great for my eyesight. I've got, you know, quite poor eyesight. Same with the display on the back of a monitor. It's clear, it's concise, it's easy to see. It gives you the information that you need quickly and easily, and that is a bonus for me because of, as I say, because of my eyesight. But what I want to do is cover the features that I really like about this camera and a few that I find quirky. Maybe not what isn't quite so good. And also, I'm just going to go through some of the quick images on my computer here. I would suggest you strongly look at these images on my Flickr page. I will put them up on Flickr. Most of these sample images are taken with the 12 to 40 Pro lens, F2.8 Pro lens. It's the rebranded OM System lens, although there are some differences to this lens and the original lens. The main differences is the coatings. So apparently it handles flare better than what the original Olympus 12 to 40 F2.8 Pro lens did. But it's a gorgeous lens. So what we'll do now is just go through some of the features that I really like about this camera and a few that I'm not so keen on. Now it has got 2 SD card slots on the side. That's, you know, great. And they're both UHS 2 card slots. I have one shooting RAW, and then the other one I've got set up for JPEG. And that again is great. You've got redundancy built in. That is brilliant if you're a pro photographer. You can set both cards up for shooting RAW, so you've got a backup SD card if one fails on you. It is fully weather sealed, so it's particularly with this particular lens, so it's weather sealed against rain, dust, dirt, and what have you. So you're going to find that the camera will work in low temperatures, high temperatures. It'll just keep on going. Really, really nice feature that is. Again, for pro use, particularly if you're a sports photographer, landscape photographer, even a wedding photographer. You can't, you know, predict what the weather's going to be like when you're booked 12 months, you know, in advance of the event. It does have a clean HDMI out, and it does feed out a raw video signal to something like the Atomos Ninja 5. So if you do want to record really, really high quality video, you can do it via the HDMI port, but it is micro HDMI, which is a bit bonkers really. With a camera of this size, they probably could have fitted a full-size HDMI port, but on the side there, you've got USB-C port and HDMI port. And on the subject of USB-C, I'm really pleased they put a USB-C port on this camera and not micro USB, because with this port you can power the camera while it's running and you can charge it via USB-C, which is really handy. It is one annoying thing though, as far as charging is concerned, they don't supply a battery charger with the camera. And a lot of manufacturers are doing this now. Sony do that. So if you want to charge a battery up separately, or if you have two batteries, which most people would want, you would need to go on somewhere like Amazon and buy a separate battery charger to be able to charge a battery. Otherwise you're charging it in camera. But the fact that you can power the camera via USB-C is brilliant for video, because I'm doing a lot of studio work here. I can put it on a tripod, leave it running, and I can power the camera without worrying about the battery running out while you're filming. Also, there is no video record limit on this camera, very much like my Fuji XS20, my Nikon Z30 that's getting a wide shot there, and even the the OM System OM5 has got no video record limit. So that's becoming a standard feature now in these mirrorless cameras, provided they don't overheat. And we have been told that the OM System, or the Olympus OM1, doesn't overheat. It gets confusing because it's branded Olympus, but it's actually OM System. But I'm going to say Olympus OM1 because that's what it says on the camera. Apparently it doesn't overheat. Battery life is really good on this camera. It's got a new BX1 battery, quite a large battery, but yeah, battery life is really, really good with this camera. And I find that I can go out for a day. I've been out for a whole day with this camera and only use one battery, and even then it still hadn't run out. So yeah, great battery life. Very similar to my Sony A6700, which takes the FZ100 battery. That goes on forever and a day as well. So it's really great that these manufacturers are increasing the battery capacity of their cameras. It does save the need for putting grips on and making it bulkier if you've got a battery that lasts longer. So yeah, really, really good. The image quality is great with this camera. I'm really, really delighted with the image quality with this camera, particularly with this Pro lens I've got fitted to it. As I say, virtually all the samples, I think all of them are actually been taken with this particular lens, and they're awesome. It does have a brand new sensor in here. It is a 20 megapixel sensor, so it's still, you know, at the lower end. Most sensors are coming out now 24, 32 megapixel, but 20 megapixel is still completely fine. I've had no issues with it. I think it's more than large enough. The pixel count's more than large enough for what I want to do, and also for printing, you know, pretty large prints. But it is a backside illuminated sensor, so it's greater. It's great in low light, or much better in low light, and it handles dynamic range better than what the previous sensors did. So although it's only 20 megapixel, it is actually a new and improved sensor. I mean, if we have a quick look at a few of the images here. Doesn't matter where we look. You know, colours are great, sharpness is great, detail is beautiful. This sensor really does resolve the detail that these lenses are generating. Absolutely pin sharp. Colours are gorgeous. So yeah, no problems with this. Human face detect works really well. Face and eye detect works really well, and it does have a plethora of other autofocus features, all the sort of features you find in most modern day cameras. Also, this camera does feature things such as animal detect, bird detect, human detect, eye detect, trains, automobiles and what have you. On the subject of that, Olympus or OM System have done the same as Fujifilm have done, where it's not in the same menu. And I find that really annoying. As many other reviewers have found that annoying. It would be really handy if the human eye detect was in the same menu as the animals, the trains, the birds and what have you. So I didn't have to use two function buttons to set that up. It would have been handy if it was in one menu, you just turn it to what you want. I've had to set up my SX20 with two function buttons, use two function buttons to do one job really. And that is one of the quirks that I don't like about this camera. But I've had to set up two function buttons to do that. I would have liked to have been able to do it a different way, but there we go. But yeah, so the autofocus on it is fast, it's snappy, it's got a new processor in there, so of course it's working better than what the EM1 Mark III or the EM1 Mark II did. It's just a really, really nice user-friendly camera for the autofocus. I also find the tracking works really well. Some people have found it not so good. I mean, I've only had the camera about 10 days, so I've not been able to fully test the autofocus tracking, but it works pretty well for the sort of subjects that I'm tracking. So I'm happy with that at the moment. As I said earlier, it's got a really high quality viewfinder, 5.76 million dot viewfinder. It is sharper than the previous incarnations of this particular camera, or the EM1.2, EM1.3. And again, for my eyesight, to be able to see a nice, clear, sharp image is wonderful. But even more important for me, ironically, is the information display. And that is large, and it's sharp, and it's really, really good. I really do like that the function buttons can be set up for different functions in video to what they can in photos. So you can use the one function button for different things in photos and in videos, and it's got function buttons everywhere. As I say, the two on the front here, it's got various function buttons on the back. You can pre-assign these AEL buttons or the auto lock buttons. It's really good. It's got function buttons on the top here, and it's great. And I'd say the handling is really, really good because the ergonomics of this camera is beautiful. You've got your various function buttons on the top here. You can pre-assign those for something different. And, you know, it's just great. Really, the handling is what a pro would want. It's just such a nice camera to handle. It's also got your various computational photography features, such as variable ND filters for stills. You can't use it for video. But for stills, variable ND filters built into it. It's got many other computational modes. It's got a high-res mode. They've actually pre-assigned the record button on the top here. So if you push that, that'll take you into high-res mode. And one thing I love about the high-res mode on this camera, as opposed to working it on my OM5 over there, is the speed in which it does it. Because the OM5 takes probably 6 or 7 seconds to process an image. So when you're out taking photographs, that's laborious. This is really quick. Well, I say it's not really quick, but it's certainly a lot quicker. I'll show you. So what I do is say, you push the red button in, and that'll bring up the high-res mode shot, and it comes up on the screen that you're in high-res mode. And it's flashing in the sort of top left corner there that you're in high-res mode. You probably won't be able to see that, but I can assure you that is showing that it's in high-res mode. And all we do now is we just take a photograph, and then you'll see, as I take the picture, it will take a few seconds for it to render it. So let me just find the shutter release. There we go. And there's now rendering that image. And that, look how quick that was. Wow, that was 2 seconds, something like that. And then that'll create a 50 megapixel size image as opposed to a 21. And it's using the image stabilization to move a sensor 1 pixel at a time. I think it's over 4 or maybe 8 images to create one much higher resolution, sharper image. Or if you're using it on a tripod, you can set it up for doing 80, it will create an 80 megapixel image. It's only suitable for still subjects, not suitable for moving subjects because there will be blur, very motion blur in the image if you're using it for still subjects. But again, a really, really useful feature. I don't know how often I will use it, but it is there if I do need it. I certainly will be using the built-in ND filters, and it's got various other computational photography modes that I haven't played with as yet, but that's the one that I will be playing with, and I think that's going to be really useful. The fact that it produces such a high quality image if you are photographing static subjects. Great if you're doing macro work, or if you're doing still life stuff, product shots or whatever. You can use a Micro Four Thirds camera for getting high resolution images. So very, very useful. The OM System Olympus QI Share app is quite good. I use it quite regularly. I've got it working with my tablet here, tablet mobile phone. I can't show you it working because I'm actually using this for recording an image on my DJI Pocket 3 at the back there, and I don't want it to stop recording, so I'm not going to muck around with it in case I do stop it from recording. Yeah, the QI Share app is fine. Video on the OM1 is pretty decent. I said earlier there is no video record limit. It does do internal 10-bit recording, which is nice, but it's got to be done in either a log profile, the OM400 log profile, or the flat profile, and it's a H.265 codec. not the H.264. It is a shame that I can't set 10-bit recording in H.264 as I can on my Fujifilm, Nikon and my Sony cameras. That's a bit of a shame, but other than that, the video quality is really nice. Here's a couple of clips I filmed out in the garden earlier. As it's such a nice day today, I thought I would come outdoors to do a couple of quick video tests with the OM System Olympus OM1. I've got fitted to it my 12-40 F2.8 PRO lens, the new Mark II, the OM System Mark II lens fitted. I've got it set to F2.8. I've got a variable ND filter attached to the front of it. It has got ND filters in the camera, but that's for stills photography. They don't work in video. So if you want to go outdoors and get great video content with this camera, as with any of the other mirrorless cameras, you will need to fit a variable ND filter on. And I'm simply using zebras to check the exposure. And I think that should work, you know, reasonably well. And I can adjust it in post-production if I really need to. I am shooting 8-bit. I haven't got a 10-bit log. It's a shame that I can't set 10-bit in the standard profile, but you can't. You have to shoot in either the log 400 profile or the Olympus flat profile. I haven't done any of that. This is pretty much straight out of camera. Now let's do a walk-in test with this. I'll walk towards the camera so you can see how well it holds the eye and the face detect. Because it is phase detect autofocus, it works with both. So it detects the eye and the face, and it isn't contrast detect like Panasonic cameras. And little Sammy's come in to say hello as well. Hello, little Sammy. So let's now do a walk-in test and see how we get on with the autofocus in video, walking towards the camera. As I walk towards the camera should be picking up my face and my eye. Mind you, there's loads of twigs and bushes in the way, so it may not have done, but it'll be interesting to see how well that works. Now, obviously, as I'm closer to the camera now, it should be picking me up, should be picking me eye and me face up. Again, I've got it in 8-bit, but I have still got my neutral density filter fitted to it, so I can shoot at 1/50th of a second at f2.8. As it is an f2.8 lens. It should throw some of the background out of focus. Won't throw it all out of focus because I've got it set to the 12mm end. It isn't set to its telephoto end, which is what you would normally use for portrait work. I do a second shot at its full zoom length. It's 40mm, which in full frame terms is effectively 80mm. So you can see what that looks like. It should still be picking up me eye and me face, and it looks like I'm fairly central. Difficult to see from this distance, but it does look like I'm fairly central. And as I said, it should be picking me up quite nicely and looking really, really nice. The colours are really nice off the Olympus cameras, very much like Fuji cameras. Certainly the stills are. So I'm hoping that the video is as well. So let's now go back into the studio and carry on with this review. Those clips are filmed in 8-bit internally, not 10-bit, so I didn't use a log profile. I did use manual exposure, but I used the zebra to check the exposure. And the lovely thing with this particular camera, as with most pro cameras, it has got zebra, it's got histogram, you've got focus peaking, so there's various focus assist aids. And if you're using a log profile, you can put up a Rec 709 viewing profile on here as well, so you can view it as a Rec 709 image, so it looks actually quite normal, as opposed to a really flat sort of grey image if you didn't have that particular view assist feature. So it's got quite a few video features on this camera, and it's got, you know, manual audio record levels, headphone jack, mic jacks on the side here, so you've got all your jacks that you're going to need. There's a mic jack on the side there, headphone jack. The mic jack is raised quite high, so it's away from the monitor when you pull the monitor out, which is quite nice. You could use this camera for selfies, but I would find it a bit heavy, so I wouldn't use it for recording me, you know, vlogs. Although I don't really do vlogging, but you can do, because it has got the 3-inch articulating screen. Obviously, eye detect, face detect in video. So it is a pretty decent video spec camera. No video record limit, and it doesn't seem to overheat. So I would say if you are into video, this you know, could be quite a decent camera to get. So there we go. What a great camera. Really, really pleased with this camera. Love the ergonomics, love the autofocus, but there are just a few quirks that this camera has. As I say, first of all, one of them I have covered, that the human eye detect or face detect isn't in the same menu as you know, the birds, planes, trains, animals and what have you. It would be much easier. That way I would only need one function button to access that menu, as opposed to taking up two function buttons, which is what I've had to do on my Fujifilm camera. The menu structure is great. It's a new menu structure, but it's a shame that it isn't touchscreen, because you still have to laboriously go through the menu one at a time, just scrolling through it one at a time like that to get through the menu. It's a shame that you can't just touch the screen like you can with Canon cameras, touch the screen where you want in the menu, but the touchscreen just doesn't work at all on the menu. And I have checked for touchscreen settings, I have got it all turned on, but you can't use the touchscreen to go through the menu, which is a little bit of a shame. So there we go. That's my first look at the System Olympus OM1. Really, really loving this camera, particularly as I got it at a fantastic price. I'm really enjoying my OM5 that's over there as well, but that is branded OM System, as all future cameras from this brand is going to be branded as OM System. This is the only one that's going to be branded Olympus. There we go. It's well worth tuning into this channel. Subscribing to this channel would be really, really helpful. That does help me grow the channel, and I would really, really appreciate that. And hit the like button if you like the content of this video. That's also really, really helpful. So thanks very much, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography, podcasting, and more about the Olympus OM1. Cheers for now. Bye.